Yeah, so I would like to welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you all came. I would like to introduce our main girl today. So Barbora Moravcová is the standard class world champion in the women's league, and she did really well in the worlds as well. She was on the podium on days, so she's really good. We can trust her words, and I'm very happy to welcome her, and let's learn about flying in the Czech Republic and Zbraslavice as well.
So thank you, Lila, for inviting me. It was without any hesitation that I accepted, because I would love to share some basics of the flying in Czech Republic. And thank you, Lila, for your kind support during the tábor, because you really said a lot, you supported me a lot, so thank you for that. So just let's start. Do you see the presentation okay right now?
Yes.
It's looking
Great.
good. Yeah. And
So,
again,
yeah.
for the sake of good order, the session is being recorded and transcribed, so everybody knows that. Okay?
Yeah. If anybody is not okay with that, just do let us, but I will be the only one embarrassing myself, so I think it will be okay for you. So yeah, just a short presentation about gliding in Czech Republic. Welcome, everybody. So lesson 1, I took it to lessons, just a basic Czech geography, because Czech Republic is quite interesting that we have flatland, hills, and mountains at the same time. Those areas are the flatland areas. We won't use them a lot during the Women's World Gliding Championships, but just so you are aware where they are in Czech Republic. Sometimes in the eastern area near Olomouc, near the city, one of the biggest, one of the big ones in Czech Republic. We might go there sometime, but the area is really nicely usable, and we definitely won't fly around Brno. So we will mostly enjoy the hilly terrain of Czech Republic, and also the mountainous area you can see right now, because the mountains are on the border of Czech Republic. We will probably enjoy the ones that are like southwest from Zbraslavice. You can see Zbraslavice in the middle of Czech Republic. Just an interesting fact, Zbraslavice are situated only 17 kilometers from the geographical center of Czech Republic. And maybe it is a good tip for you during no flying days, but there will be no any. We will fly a lot, hopefully. So those are the mountainous areas. We might get into mostly, as I mentioned, the southwest area. That's Šumava. I will talk about it more during next slides. This is the area that will be usually used for tasks. So we will go through this area in the following slides as well. So this is like the main area that we will fly into. Weather. The best forecast is always from our Met guy. We will have the same Met guy we had during tábor, so we can rely on him. He has his own like modal, his own website where we can check the weather. I will share the links in the presentations as well. Interesting thing is that in Czech Republic we have quite heterogeneous conditions. They are never the same, and even on short tasks we may face a lot of changes. When the synoptic situation is not really easy, you will feel it, you will see it as well. The conditions may change quite rapidly, but when there is a good day, well, we have really strong thermals. I think that there are many women pilots that flew during the Women's Worlds in 2017. We had 12 flying days in various conditions, but there can be really nice flying days during like 2 weeks period. So let's see. When there are blue days, they are extremely strong or extremely weak. Sometimes we experienced blue days when we were like hitting the ceiling of flight level 95, which is like the ceiling of possible height in Czech Republic. But at the same time, we can really face weak blue days. Usually the weak blue days happen when there is eastern wind and the worst southeast wind. So when there are, but lucky for us, those like the winds that prevail during the summer in Czech Republic are the western areas, but also during Tábor. We experienced those weak blue days. It was mainly caused by the Canadian smoke, but also the prevailing wind during that synoptic situation was from southeast direction. So weak blue days usually happen in those cases. We have cloud streets when there is, of course, when there is a strong wind, but also when there is not a strong wind, it is definitely great to check the orography of Czech Republic, because usually there is, or there might happen, like a really long, probably 100-kilometer long orographic cloud street in the middle of Czech Republic. I will show you where it is. It is called Czech Gliding Highway, and for a good reason. So I will show you. Shear wave, that is also something not really that common. You can't face it or you can't experience it every day, but we are aware that those kind of conditions happen quite often in Czech Republic, as well as the convergence lines. But the convergence lines usually happen in Šumava Mountains. Those are the mountains I mentioned on the map. Those are the southwest mountains that we might actually use. So those are the links that you can use. I think that they will be shared with the presentation recording, so you can use them. FlyMed, that's the website from our med guy, the Czech med guy. There are loads of ads, so don't worry about it. It is quite annoying, we've told him, but it is a great source of forecast for glider pilots in Czech Republic, and it's completely free. The second link, that's Czech Hydrometeorological Institution. They also have English version of the website, but it's like that there are less information. There are less information in the English version. So maybe use just a pro tip, use the Czech version and translate it via Google Translate so you can get more information. Just briefly about the airspace. It looks awful, I know, but it's easier. It's easier than it looks. The website I shared in the presentation is our website where you can see all the airspaces, all the heights. You can click on it. You can go through all the airspaces that are in Czech Republic. But let's go through it briefly. The circles are airfields and airports. So those are not really like forbidden airspaces in Czech Republic. But yeah, we are in this position. You will hear it a lot during the briefings from our med guy. So as you can see, we are on the edge of MTMA, but I will go through it briefly with what we can or where we can't fly. Those airspaces are like forbidden all the time, especially during the competitions. We have great people in the military and as well in the air control in Prague and Brno. And they usually allow us to fly during like usual tasks through those airspaces when they don't have any big traffic. But during competition, those gray areas are not usable for us. So just for you to know. Those are TSA airspaces, and they are completely free during summertime, so they won't affect us. Usually when they are active only up to 300 meters AGL, so they don't really affect us during competitions. But yeah, just so you know, during summer they are completely free. So once you go through the airspaces, don't worry about those, and I think that they will be even missing in our airspace files. Those are TRA airspaces. They are usually free for us during competition because, as I said, we have a great deal with our army. We also have some spies in the army. We have several glider pilots there, so the negotiations are usually quite easy. So usually the airspaces, when they are not used during the week, they will be announced on the daily briefing, of course. But those are usually free for us, depending on where we actually fly. If we fly to the east, the western airspaces are used by the military and vice versa. When we fly to the west part, the eastern part is usually taken by the army. So that's the usual deal that we have in Czech Republic. Those, if you can see those are smaller special airspaces that are always forbidden, except of the big one to the south. That's TMA of one smaller airport in České Budějovice. This is like a newly established airspace. Or last year, it was newly established last year, to my knowledge. And it may be free, but it will also be announced on the daily briefing. And those smaller circles and one triangle, those are airspaces that are or will be forbidden for us during competition up to 5,000 feet. They will be also always announced on the daily briefing. So now to the promised Czech gliding highway, which is without a speed limit, lucky for us. So this is the area where all the magic happens. Usually there are, this is like the yellow area is the most flown area on a good day, because obviously it's in the middle of Czech Republic, but the orography of this area works really great for developing thermal conditions and also cloud streets. Usually the cloud street, and maybe it won't tell you a lot, but there is a close, I will probably show you on the map. I didn't include it in the presentation, sadly, but there is a cloud street that forms quite usually from Humpolec city, which is more to the east of Zbraslavice, and can even go to Plzeň, which is to the west of Czech Republic. So this is like the best area that we usually use during our flying days and also during competitions. We will fly a lot in this area, and even when the conditions won't work, this is the area where the thermals are triggered the most. Those are the usual tasks that we fly from Zbraslavice. I just mentioned a few of them, or a few directions, so you are prepared for like the task setting. Usually we fly, of course, during competitions it's a bit different, but those are the tasks that we usually fly out of the competition, and it can show you the area where we will fly the most. So western direction, eastern direction, south direction, Also, we will get into Šumava Mountains, I mentioned in the start of the presentation. So there is like a lot of possibilities where to go. So how does things go in the Czech Republic, speaking about the conditions? We are, I don't know if you can see the mouse, but we are here in Zbraslavice. We are in this position. I will get you used to it. The yellow area, as you can see, is a national park of Czech Republic. It's very hilly, and this area is really not suitable for like a proper outlandings. There are two close airfields nearby, so it is not like a big area which you couldn't like glide away from. But this is like the area where you should be a bit careful when getting low. So yeah, I also crashed a glider once when I was on my beginning of the gliding journey. So I really know that there are not many fields to choose from. So this is the area to be a bit concerned about. This is also area which is quite hilly, but usually when you keep your height, you can overfly it quite easily when we fly from west to east direction. But also be prepared for that once you find yourself quite low over there. It is probably not really that comfortable, and definitely outside my comfort zone. I was there low, very low, during the World Gliding Championships in Tábor, and I almost forgot how hilly it is over there. There are some gliding outlanding options, of course, and there are quite good like thermal trigger conditions, because it is like a very foresty area, as well as this area as the previous one. And as it's hilly, there is a lot of chances for thermals to trigger. But I'm mentioning it because of the outlanding options, or that you should just keep your head up, speaking about getting low over there or overflying it. This yellow area more to the east of Zbraslavice is quite interesting. It is also hilly area near Moravská Třebová airfield. And this is usually quite a nice way how to fly more to the north. If we ever fly a long task to this area, this is definitely an area to think about when choosing a path where to fly, because as the ridge is situated from south to north, or from north to south, depending on your point of view, the prevailing wind can usually trigger some nice like rich flying or rich thermals. So this area is definitely great to use when you fly to the north, when we have some kind of a task or maybe AAT task over there. This is definitely a great area to choose. It is like the most common area when there are glider pilots flying from the north of Czech Republic, and they fly through the mountainous area, and they need to get as close to Brno as possible to have the longest task possible. They use this area very often, like I would say probably all the time, because it is definitely much easier to use this ridgy area than the flatland. This area quite close to Zbraslavice is very interesting. It's near Jihlava city. It's also a bit hilly and foresty, and there are usually really great thermals near the city. So once you need to save yourself, you're getting low, there are like really big activity, because also the thermals are triggered by the city itself because there is a huge industrial zone. So I think I take that like a win-win situation because there is also an airfield nearby. So once you get low, you need to save yourself. You try the hilly terrain around the Jihlava and also the industrial, because once I can tell, once I saved myself nearly from outlanding in the Jihlava airfield or at the Jihlava airfield. I took 3-meter thermal above the industrial zone and got myself home. So it really works and it is quite convenient. I take that as a win-win that you have an airfield nearby, and it is like only 50 kilometers away from Zbraslavice. So yeah, it is really great area. I always, when I fly in to the east, I always take this path because it is like the most convenient one. I hope that now I'm sharing like what paths do we usually use, and once we have the competition, you will use like a way different paths that will be much better. So I'm sorry for that, but it's how things usually are. That's the same as Slovak guys gave me a briefing. How do we fly in Slovakia? And then we flew a way different that they told me. So take my advice at your own risk. Okay, just an idea about it. So this area, this yellow area to the south of Zbraslavice is very interesting. There are a lot of ponds. And usually when there is some kind of a rain, this area is very, very wet. So you can face it quite usually, and I faced that many times this year during spring, that in this area, the cloud bases got actually 300 meters lower than they were in the rest of the Czech Republic. So just taking this area into consideration when there is a lot of rain before flying there, the conditions there might get a bit tricky. This area, you may be surprised, but this area is very, very hilly, and this area is quite complicated. Speaking about choosing a field to land if you need so. So before heading into this area, I usually try to get as high as possible. Obviously, there are some outlanding options, but and it is not that bad as somewhere else, of course. But I always take this area as a bit head up and try to get as high as possible, because it might be a bit tricky with the thermals, speaking about like depending on the wind direction on that day. And this yellow area is Šumava. Šumava may produce so awesome gliding conditions with a cloud street that is usually going through like the middle of the yellow area, and it serves really, really great when you fly like a really long task. Well, honestly, during Tabor, Šumava was very tricky. We all found ourselves quite low, but the convergence line that was at the end of like the southeast part of Šumava saved us all. So this is where the convergence line usually happen. The only thing to think of, because on the like German part of Šumava, it may actually trick you to go there, but you have to be like really careful, because sometimes the clouds look much better on the German side, and sometimes there are even no clouds on the Czech side, but on the Czech side, the Šumava is much steeper, and in German part, or at the German part, the mountains are really, really shallow. So once you go to the German side and you find yourself low, you have to glide quite a long time for quite a distance to actually be able to land safely if you need so. And my friend who flies Šumava quite often, he told me that when he took the German side of Šumava, he found himself low. He had to glide away. Then he had to save himself somehow, and then he had to go back. And it was not that comfortable to fly through that shallow mountainous area to the biggest mountains on the Czech side, and then trying to get to the Czech side to be actually able to continue with the flight. So I'm always very, very careful about choosing the German side of Šumava, because once you find yourself in Germany, it will hug you and probably won't give you back to Czechia. So be really aware of this situation, because Šumava really works like that. The German side is shallow, the Czech side is more steep. And this is the area I was talking about. That's the shallow area of Šumava. The German side is much shallower. So yeah, this is the area you don't want to find yourself low. This area, this yellow area, when we continue further, that's Brdy. It's south of Prague, and this is great area for thermal trigger. Usually the airspace you can see in the circle, that's usually free during competition. When we flew Tábor, it was always free. The only thing that is like a bit sad is that the airfield or the airport to the right of the yellow circle is usually active airspace, because they have parachute activity. So they usually close the ATZ for us. It will be, for sure, it will be in the airspace file. So it is a bit complicated sometimes when we need to get a proper thermal, and we need to actually join the ridges that are in the yellow circle. But this area is really, really great for thermal triggering, and usually there is also a cloud street. There is usually a cloud street going further to the west. So this area works amazingly. Basically, I talked a lot about the tricky parts, but those green parts of Czech Republic, basically all over the task area, are really okay, speaking about outlanding possibilities, and they are actually, this is the best area to fly a competition at. So I don't think that we should be like any concerned. I have some pro tips for you that you would never guess. Have fun. Look out, look out, look out. We are really lucky that there are not that many like glider pilots flying the women's worlds. But still, look out, look out, look out. Share the joy from gliding with others. That's basically the biggest joy you can ever receive. The best lemonade is made in Zbraslavice brewery. I can show you where it is. And tricky part, birds in Czech Republic sometimes seek gliders to find a thermal, and that's a no joke. Really, it's really like that. You find yourself low, you find a thermal, and then you realize the birds are coming to get the same thermal like you did. You found it really hard, and then the birds come get it as well. So it was quite a fast presentation, because I didn't want to dig in much more, but maybe you have some specific questions that you would like to be asked.
There is one question in the chat, Ayala.
Hi Ayala, you're here as well. So maybe I will have a look on that. I will stop sharing. Are the parachute zones forbidden? It will be always presented during the daily briefing. The parachute zone I mentioned at Příbram, I will probably also search it on the map so we can see it more properly. This will be definitely prohibited for us if they have the parachute activity, but the other ones I don't remember if they ever were like prohibited for us. It may happen, but it will be always said during the daily briefing. And if you don't mind, I will show you also before we go further. I will show you the ice view. This is the application that is used for like the airspace situation in Czech Republic, and this is the parachute, like there is the biggest parachute activity in Czech Republic. So this might get prohibited for us during the competition. There were also some days during Tábor when it was free for us, and this is like the second zone when some parachute activity happen. So this might get prohibited for us as well, but it is not that often. It is not that often. I hope that I didn't jinx it. Okay, so any other questions, maybe?
We have
I see
Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
We don't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Does this help?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering if it's if you need to outland, is there a preferable field like green fields or better for
Yeah. We will have the big advantage that I think that the fields will be cropped during that time of the competition, so it will be pretty visible from the from the air which of them are cropped. But I would go for that. That's the same I told the Argentinian guys. I would probably go for like this grass green and not that dark green, which may be corn or maybe the crops. But I think that at that time of the competition, the crops will get this like light brown-ish, yellowish color, so it will be pretty easy for us to detect which field not to use. So I would go for the grass green or yellow green, like light green color, which is usually the grass field. And there are quite a lot of them in here, so it's fine.
Thank you.
We have Jane.
Hi, Barbara. Just a question on outlanding as well. Will we have a card which would be in Czech explaining what we are and why we're there, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely you will have that. It will be prepared for you for the registration. because there are like loads of people in Czech Republic who really don't speak English, so it would be more convenient for you to have it. So I will also take this idea to competition director, who was actually thinking if it is necessary or not. So it will be like a validation that it was a good idea. So thank you, Jane.
That would be great. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Ayala?
Hi, Barbara. I was just wondering what impact on the conditions, the big river, I think is the Vltava River?
Vltava River, that's a great question. Yeah, great question. I forgot about that. I will again. I will share the the screen so we can actually see it. So Ayala was mentioning Vltava, which is this. Zbraslavice are here, and Vltava is over here, if you can see it properly. So sometimes what happens, I forgot to mention, thank you very much, Ayala. Sometimes what happens, and we've experienced that in Tábor in the past several times. Sometimes conditions are a bit different in the western part of, like, to the west of Vltava River, and sometimes they are different in here. Usually because of the prevailing winds in during summer, which are from like the western directions, usually better conditions happen in the western part of Vltava. When there is a really good gliding day, of course. When there are complicated conditions, sometimes it's like better to turn in front of the river back, but it depends on the day, of course. But sometimes the conditions are a bit better in the western part, but it is just, usually it's like a slight difference. It's not anything big, but you can feel it by the strength of the thermals, sometimes even height of the cloud bases. For example, during Czech Nationals, I remember that one. During Czech Nationals, we were flying to this area, and like we had a turn point somewhere here, I remember. And once we crossed the river, there were stronger thermals, like by 0.7, which is not like much, but it could be like felt a lot. And as well, the thermals were more compact, and the cloud bases were like 150 meters higher in the western part, on the western side of Vltava. So sometimes you can feel it. Sometimes the conditions don't vary that much, but I wouldn't say that the effect of the river is anything significant, like, for example, in Hungary. Okay, so you can feel there are different conditions of the western part of Vltava, but it is not anything like more significant.
Thank you. I just remember in Hungary, the big rivers had a massive impact. So.
Yeah. In Hungary, it was much worse. I flew there, and it was much worse than in Czech Republic. But of course, you can feel the difference sometimes.
Thanks, Barbara.
Yeah.
Can you please talk about the forests as well? Because we experienced that the thermals coming from the forests start quite early in the day, which is different from Hungary's forests.
Yeah. Well, that's a great advantage of Zbraslavice, because usually the weather starts more early over here. So we are in this position. You will all see where I live.
Yeah, but we don't see your screen.
Oh, you don't see the screen. So you don't see where I live. That's fine.
No.
I will share it once again. Now you should see it. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are in this position, and like around Zbraslavice, that because the release zone will be somewhere here, and this is like a great area for thermal trigger, or no, it will be here. Sorry, this is the release zone. That's like a former mill over there, and usually the thermal trigger the best in this area over the forests. Great thing which happened in Czech Republic. Well, great for glider pilots, not so great for the nature. That there was this bug that was infecting most of the forests. So you can see like gray and brown spots in some of the forests, and you can see them also around Zbraslavice. And those spots usually serve with a great thermal trigger area. So usually, like, this area is great for thermal trigger because you can see there are brown spots in the middle of the forest. Also to the east side, there are also brown spots that usually trigger thermals. So those work in Czech Republic quite well. And as I said, great for glider pilots, not good for the nature. But also good to mention is Velké Dářko. That's also something most of the foreigners are not able to pronounce. So and we don't blame you, because R is definitely awful. I will just need to find it somewhere. Oh yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is, I will put it there. We are here just to give you some reference. And this is Velké Dářko, a pond, which is quite big, and it is on the edge of the nature reserve I mentioned in the presentation. So you can see it very foresty, it's a bit hilly, and usually right above this pond, I will probably put it like that, right above this pond, there is usually a thermal of the day. So yeah, the edges of forests, the edges of ponds usually work the best. As G. Dale says it in his books, you always need to find the best like temperature difference, and then it works in Czech Republic quite amazingly. And as you mentioned this, Lila, I will probably also show you the other hilly area I mentioned in the presentation. Again, giving you the reference. There are Zbraslavice, and this is like the other area, the hilly area I mentioned. As you can see, it's not that foresty, but it's very hilly. But this area, you don't want to find yourself low over here, as you can see, but it's definitely great area for thermal triggers. So usually also here, when we fly more to the east, there are the good thermals. Then also on this ridge there are good thermals. Then over here, and as you can see, it's again foresty area. Yeah, so this works amazingly in Czech Republic. The forests produce quite a lot of the thermal trigger points.
Thank you. And can you please talk about a bit about landing out near the finish ring? How are the landing out options? Because Zbraslavice is on basically a hill, so.
Yeah. For everybody who hasn't been to Zbraslavice, prepare for that. Zbraslavice are 492 meters elevation. And usually the elevation goes down when you fly away from Zbraslavice, even to the south, to the east, to the west. So you can imagine when you fly the final glide to Zbraslavice, the elevation goes up, so it will be less comfortable for you. And also, like north wind can be very, very unpleasant for the final glides, because that are usually some lee sides of the hills. So not that high hills, of course, but it can put it like a big effect on the final glide. So when there is like a north wind, I'm usually more careful. So do you see the map?
Yes.
So the finish ring will be 5 kilometers if nothing happened. And there are actually several fields you can use. From this direction, you can definitely use those fields. I'm not sure. This is something up to your own consideration, because I'm not sure what crops are on the fields, okay, right now. So I'm just telling you which fields are flat and usable, but not sure if there is corn or there is that awful yellow thing I can't even name in English. And if there are grains or something. So I'm not sure about it now, because I haven't go through it yet. So this is up to your own risk. I'm only telling you which fields are usable. So this field is usable. That's quite fine. I'll also show you the terrain. Yeah, this one. This is slightly uphill, so be aware of that. And there is also a second field. I think this one was usable. So there are several fields in Bohdanec. Up to you which one will be usable because of what is being like set on the field. Okay, but around Bohdanec there are several fields you can use. And also I use that field as well. Not sure what is being on the field right now, if that is corn or something else, but there is this field. There are power lines over here, so be aware of that. And there is an edge of a forest, but you can easily land on this field as well. I was there when there was corn, and the corn was like 20 centimeters long, so that was fine. But during the period of the world, the corn will probably be taller than me, so you don't really want to land on that. But this field, quite close to Zbraslavice, is usable as well. I think that in 2017. I landed there during my sniffing comeback together with, I think, 4 or 5 other competitors at that time, because I wasn't flying in competition at that time. So this is also field that is usable. And also, but I'm afraid that on this field there is that yellow awful thing. I will probably search for that, what it's called, because I don't have a clue.
Called rape. Barbara, it's called rape. Rapeseed.
Oil.
Yeah, rapeseed. Yes, you said it right. Yeah, rapeseed. So I'm afraid that there is rapeseed right now. but this field is, and in this area is usable. It's really, actually it was used by our Blaník few so it was not rapeseed, it was just crop. Not sure which one, but it will be quite tall. Maybe it will be set down, but this field is also flat, so you can use it. And this field is not recommended because the owner of it is not really loving us much. So this field is fine. This field closer to Zbraslavice is not that fine. And speaking about the other side, I will probably put, yeah. As you can see, there is a valley. So on this side, it's not really that easy to find a landing spot. There were actually during AZ Cup, there were 2 guys landing, or maybe 3 guys landing on this field, but it is not recommended because the access is not great, and also the owner is not really that keen on helping glider pilots. But when I saw a field next to it, I think it was this one that was quite usable. And there is one field near Hotkov, but I'm not sure which one was that, because there was also somebody landing over here. Not sure. I don't want to tell you anything I would regret telling you. But yeah, as I said, this area is landable, and there is also one field, this one, landable. But I'm not sure if that's in the circle. Bodanec is in the circle for sure, those fields. And this 100%. Yeah, so those are actually the directions we will fly the most to back to Zbraslavice. It will be south approach, it will be southeast approach, or maybe west approach. So from the western part, be careful about the final glide. But from the western part, there is one airfield I actually used in the past 2 times, but it was before the start line, not for the finish, okay? But it was this one. This is flat field and right next to the road, so it's easily accessible. So this field was used in the past several times as well. Over here. So yeah. Did I answer the question, I hope?
Yes, thank you. And I
Okay.
think Ayala is raising her hand.
Yeah.
No, that's from before. But all I can say is, from what I remember from 2017, is that the area around Zbraslavice is not very good. So be careful with the final glide.
Yeah. We faced actually, thank you, Ayala, because we faced actually two accidents because competitors were trying to reach the finish ring, and then they found themselves in a complicated situation because of the terrain. So because the terrain there for the final glide is really tricky. So usually when I'm not convinced, I will be able to get back home. I know that I will need to thermal on the edge of the dam. I will also show you the dam, because there to the south of Zbraslavice there is a water dam, Želivka, which is actually a great source of flat fields to land around. And also on the edge of the shore, you can find some thermals as well. So I know that I've been several times. I've been thermaling in this area so I could get back home. Also, great area to get the last thermal is Melechov over here. That's, I know it's not that visible, but it's a small hill, or like two hills. Melechov, I think that I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is the height of that. I think that I will Google it, but also that is a really great area to find the last thermal to get you home. Now I searched for that. Melechov is 700 meters above the sea level. This is the peak. So in this area, you can also find some thermals to get yourself home, depending on the wind direction, because the lee side of it can also produce some really good sink, but usually in this area and this area and this area you can find a thermal. Yeah, so Melechov is a great source of the last thermal to get you home. I think it's like 25 kilometers away from Zbraslavice. This area is like 11 or 12 kilometers away from Zbraslavice. So this is also those are great source of the last thermals you could use for the final glide.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Maybe we can have just a short gathering about the outlanding fields before the competition, once we know what is already being chopped down or harvested. And because I will do the what it's called. I will have a look on where it is actually possible to land in the Finnish ring myself, so we can talk about it in the airfield restaurant maybe.
But I think that on the Friday before the opening, there will be a safety briefing. And I think we should cover it there.
Yeah, maybe I will speak with the competition director about it. I'm not really involved in the organization. I'm like outside of it, and I'm happy to be a competitor. But I will definitely speak with Martin, so he can because he actually told me something that he will do just a brief look on the field himself, and maybe included during the safety briefing. So I will also point this out to him. I will put a note. Thank you, Robert. Okay. Oh, thank you, Odd. Great check. So.
Well, if
translate, please.
Yeah,
thank you.
Merci beaucoup. I have really bad pronunciation. I'm sorry to all the French team who is here. So, if do you have any other questions regarding the flying, or maybe questions regarding the airfield itself? Maybe not. Okay. I'm a local, so once you want to have the best lemonade in the area, I will take you to the brewery because they have really awesome flavors. So that's great. And you don't have to worry. In Zbraslavice, there is a police. There is actually a medical center. There are our local firemen. There are 2 stores for groceries. Also, there are 1, 2, 3 restaurants, 2 of them really good. Italian restaurant. We have pizza in Zbraslavice, so we have like basically anything that we need. Speaking about the basic stuff, and if you need anything in the area or the basic knowledge about the area, competition director is also local, so he knows well. But if you don't want to message him, you can message me always, and I can give you some pro tips and also some tips when we have a luck and there is a 1 no flying day. I can also give you a tip for some trips in the area, and maybe Aude. I think Aude asked me about the cycling trails and some running trails in the area. I can definitely share that one with you. There are several ones. There are families coming for cycling in the area, and it is definitely possible, Lila, to run over there. There are some really nice trails. So yeah, if you need any tips like that, just feel free to message.
Barbora, can you just confirm that the airfield is going to be open for flying the whole week before?
That's a question to the competition director. I'm not aware how it is set, but I think that he told me that there were some pilots who wanted to come earlier, and also that like the restaurant kitchen will be open for you before the official provider of the catering will arrive. So I think that he mentioned something like that, but I think it is definitely necessary to confirm this with the competition director himself.
Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you, Barcha, for doing this for us. It was lovely and I think very informative. So thank you, everyone, and see you soon in Zbraslavice.
See you soon in Zbraslavice.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you for the great initiative, Lila.